Online fraud is wildly rampant in China. While the nature of it remains the same, the method is becoming increasingly elaborate, devious, and deceptive. Recently, news exploded on social media that Wang Xu, owner of the video creation and sharing platform Little Pig Yoban, absconded with over 100 billion yuan. A large number of partners, franchisors, and investors are gathered under the building of Yoban, and branches across the country are now deserted, indicating that Yoban has completely collapsed. Now, if someone invites you to invest in P2P, you would likely call them insane, because you know that P2P is a Ponzi scheme, a capital pool, and a type of online fraud. However, if someone encourages you to start a business by buying a film and television copyright package for 128,000 yuan, then you make profit by editing videos, uploading them to platforms, and getting views. If you can earn 1,000 yuan a day, recoup your investment in 4 months, and earn 200,000 yuan in a year, would you take it? If the budget allows, everyone would be tempted, because you think this is a startup project with a short return period of just 4 months, and the returns are enormous, doubling your money in a year. However, in reality, this is essentially still a Ponzi scheme, under the guise of a short video startup. Little Pig Yoban, hereafter referred to as Yoban, is such a Ponzi scheme. It uses short video editing as a smokescreen to conduct illegal capital pool activities. So how did it step-by-step deceive investors who no longer believe in P2P? A man named Wang Xu from Ningde, Fujian province, a doctorate of law well-versed in Chinese law, started a business in Beijing in April 2018, registered Zuoshi Technology. At the time, Wang Xu didn't have any particularly good business ideas, just doing some intellectual property protection work. He purchased some graphic rights and then searched online for companies that used these graphics without his authorization, and then sent them a lawyer's letter asking for compensation. This wasn't good business, with a hint of extortion, and he was often criticized. With the rise of short video platforms like TikTok, Bilibili, and Xigua Video in 2020, short video entrepreneurship became a trend. Wang Xu saw this opportunity, but he didn't just want to become a short video blogger, but to build a short video platform. In March 2021, Wang Xu established the Baiming Technology Group Co. Ltd., launched the Yoban platform, and set up the headquarters in the high-tech park of Minghuo District, Fuzhou City in Fujian Province. As an entrepreneur himself, Wang Xu fully understood that the pain point for entrepreneurs is finding a profitable venture. After careful planning, a perfectly packaged entrepreneurial plan emerged. Yoban claimed to have purchased a large amount of video copyright, from which entrepreneurs could buy copyright packages ranging from 98 to 128,000 yuan. Entrepreneurs, after buying the copyright package, could utilize these materials to edit and recreate, then upload the edited videos to the Yoban platform. Yoban would then distribute these videos across platforms online, and sharing the earnings back with the creators. This means that Yoban had to earn revenue from other platforms like Xigua Video, TikTok, Kuaishou, Bilibili, and more, to be able to share the profit with the creators. The problem, however, is that the revenue from these video platforms is extremely unstable, depending on various factors such as video views and ad placement, and the profits are not high. Even at the peak of platform subsidies, a video with 10,000 views would only earn tens of yuan at most. The video earnings that Yoban could receive were very limited and extremely unstable, yet they promised a very high return to entrepreneurs who purchased the copyright packages. For instance, purchasing a film, sports, and variety package for 128,000 yuan could yield over 18,000 yuan in profit sharing each month. If you calculate based on a traffic subsidy of 50 yuan for every 10,000 views, 18,000 yuan would require 3.6 million views. But how could Yoban guarantee such high viewership for entrepreneurs' videos? Obviously, Yoban couldn't fulfill this, meaning the traffic sharing promised to entrepreneurs did not come from the platform's sharing, but directly from Yoban. The only source of income for Yoban was from selling copyright packages, This meant Yoban first collected money from entrepreneurs, then returned a certain percentage of it to the entrepreneurs every month. To attract entrepreneurs to buy the copyright packages, Yoban promised extremely high returns, with the shortest payback period being just 4 months. To fulfill these promises, Yoban constantly had to recruit new customers, using the new customers' money to pay for the old customers' earnings. This is a very clear Ponzi scheme. As the company grew bigger, so did its operating expenses and capital depletion. Yoban had to lure more people in. To lure more people in, they had to offer higher returns and earnings, which inevitably accelerated the collapse of the scheme. The founder of Yoban, Wang Xu, must have known this all too well. However, for entrepreneurs who had never ventured into short video creation, the business opportunity offered by Wang Xu seemed extremely appealing, as it seemed like a business where profits were guaranteed. These entrepreneurs didn't seriously consider whether the videos they edited could actually earn so much money across various online platforms. Perhaps some entrepreneurs saw the scam for what it was, knowing it to be a game of hot potato, but they thought they would not be left holding the bag. In fact, the earliest entrepreneurs who purchased the copyright packages did earn back their capital in just a few months, and indeed earned money subsequently. Because they made money, they quickly recommended the project to their friends and family. Like a virus, they proliferated, inflating the financial bubble even further. Some entrepreneurs invested millions, even tens of millions, to purchase copyright packages. The actual scale of this financial bubble is unknown, but it's certain that it is in the billions. Whether it's as high as the rumored hundreds of billions is not clear. Wang Xu knew that this model would inevitably burst one day, so he began planning to siphon funds overseas through a content export plan in 2022. It was only recently that the entrepreneurs on the Yoban platform found that they could not withdraw their earnings from their creative work. To prevent entrepreneurs from withdrawing funds, Yoban suddenly required entrepreneurs to undergo real name verification, a process that no one seemed to be able to pass. Unable to withdraw their earnings, the true nature of Yoban's scheme was finally exposed, leaving those who had heavily invested in the project feeling like they're living in a real nightmare. Compared to previous P2P schemes, Yoban's was even more devious. Not only did they require victims to invest money, but they also demanded endless hours of video editing. Previous Ponzi schemes would cheat you out of your money while you were complacent, but Wang Xu's scheme demanded your labor and time editing videos, and still managed to swindle your money. It could very well be called the Wang scheme. Wang Xu did not cheat those who were simply greedy and hoping to earn money while doing nothing, but rather those who genuinely wanted to start a business. Some people who had already invested millions had to additionally spend money to recruit and form teams to edit videos, resulting in extra massive expenses. Of course, during this time of frantic investment, they did create quite a few jobs. Now, with the collapse of Yoban, many video editors are facing unemployment again. Thus, those who have suffered the most are the investors who have spent large amounts of money on copyright packages, not only losing their initial investment, but also having to pay their employees' salaries. Wang Xu cloaked his scheme in the guise of short video creation, making it seem somewhat deceptive, but it wasn't without its flaws. Every investment comes with risks, and no entrepreneurial project can guarantee profit. If anyone promises you a risk-free, profitable business, they are most certainly trying to steal your principal. The elaborate scheme of Yoban tells us, as times change, so do scams, but they all follow the same principle. If someone promises you a high fixed return, it's most definitely a scam. In fact, in recent years, Ponzi schemes have emerged in droves in China, and the ones who suffer in the end are the common people. The Chinese government has also played an accomplice role in this process, the most notable being the dramatic boom and bust of P2P lending since 2014. In 2014, a total of 261 P2P platforms across the country went bankrupt, absconded, or became unable to disperse funds. In 2015, this number increased rather than decreased, with the Yizhubao P2P lending scandal involving 50 billion yuan being the most prominent. Mass incidents occurred at the time, with many people gathering to protest outside city governments or relevant departments. At the end of 2014, the China Securities Regulatory Commission set several policy red lines, such as forbidding illegal fundraising and pooling of funds, in the hopes of regulating industry development. Many people believed that P2P platforms would henceforth be safe. For a time, many P2P platforms backed by state-owned enterprises and advertised on official media outlets like CCTV won the trust of investors. However, not long after, bigger collapses came. The P2P industry's information and research platform Wangdai Zhijia reported that since the beginning of June 2018, about 150 online lending platforms had run into problems. Among these problems, the least severe was liquidation, where the investment platform would gradually repay part of its principal, but the risk of default still existed. Numerous P2P platforms stopped their business operations directly, and the people in charge lost contact, ran away with the money, and investors lost all their capital, leaving them no choice but to report to the police. By July, the number of platforms facing defaults increased dramatically. According to incomplete statistics from 01 data, in the first week of July alone, at least 26 P2P platforms encountered various problems, of which 7 announced liquidation, and 4 were already under investigation. The 26 platforms owed at least 15 to 20 billion yuan in principal. Hangzhou, known as the capital of fintech, was hit hardest. According to the Securities Times, there were so many people reporting cases in Hangzhou at the time that the authorities set up the Hangzhou Huanglong Sports Center and Hangzhou Jianggan District Sports Center as temporary reception points, deploying staff from the appeals office to connect with the victims. Those present at the stadiums described a sense of dense crowds of people from Tianjin, Henan, Jiangsu, Guangdong, and other places, who had suffered losses ranging from tens of thousands to millions. They called themselves refugees and referred to each other as comrades in adversity. To avoid their families finding out, some wore masks, while others took leave from work under the pretense of traveling, secretly staying in small hotels in Hangzhou for several days. An article describing the plight of P2P investors that circulated widely on social media referred to these 2 stadiums as refugee camps. Many financial refugees believed that the government was definitely complicit in the fraud that befell them. In 2015, Li Keqiang, who was then premier of the State Council, led heads of several departments such as the Ministry of Finance, the National Development and Reform Commission, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, the China Banking Regulatory Commission, and the China Securities Regulatory Commission to inspect the Qianhai New District WeBank, the Chaihuo Makerspace, and Huawei in Shenzhen. Li Keqiang expressed his support for the development of internet finance, which was greatly beneficial to P2P. A marketing manager from a P2P platform told the BBC, "The financial refugees are pitiful. The government lacks a normalized regulatory approach. If it were investment losses, everyone would accept it. But when so many people are completely defrauded, the regulators cannot shirk their blame." For example, the Hangzhou government promotes itself as the city of fintech, but it's basically absent when it comes to compliance review of businesses. Financial refugees also want to seek some justice from the authorities, but they can't fight against the powerful. The government will not help them solve problems, but rather is accustomed to getting rid of those who raise problems.